The last piece of flesh falls from her back as she kneels and hits the ground. The human slave breathes no more. The victorious cries of the elven gladiatrix bounce off the blood-slicked walls and quickly spread through the streets, mixing with the city's wild panic. Parts of Settlers' Gain are burning bright red, stoked by the disciples of Khaine. A free guild priest is on his knees, looking in shock at the arterial blood dripping from the statue of Tyrion in the main square. He is suddenly pulled from his stupor by a dark presence and the sound of confident high heels. Morathi doesn't look pleased as she stares at him, but she is still the most beautiful thing he's ever seen.
Where is she?
Who?
Where is Slithael?
The Shadowstalker champion had one simple mission: learn the whereabouts of a lost piece of Khaine's sword, rumored to have been found by the Aishan Free Guilds. But Slithael is missing in action. Regardless if she committed treason or was captured, Morathi had to show her strength, which is clearer in her appearance than it is in her heart. The priest quickly falls alongside the body of the human sacrifice he witnessed, pierced through by Heartrender. She is not in the mood for hesitation, and the Lumineth are closing in.
Let's go. I don't want to linger in this place. Makes me sick.
The shadows around her increase, not of darkness, but of contrasting light. As if the sun had risen, she feels a familiar presence.
Teclis of Ulthuan.
You were always a lost soul, but you have strayed too far this time.
I just want what is mine. Return her to me now!
There is no darkness here. This is the land of illumination, and you are not welcome.
There is no light without the dark, Archmage. I lived for aeons before you were even born. I am a queen. You do not get to threaten me.
You are a queen of nothing, and you will pay for what you did.
The battle tactic is desecrate their lands. The Death Hag activates heroic leadership. Teclis activates heroic leadership. Morathi Khaine casts Mystic Shield on the Blood Sisters. The Death Hag prays for the Heart of Fury. The Death Hag activates Witch Brew on the Witch Elves. The Death Hag activates at the double on the Witch Elves. The Shadow Queen fails to deal any damage to the Stoneguard. The Heart of Fury rolls a 6 and is removed. The Daughters of Khaine score 5 victory points. The battle tactic is desecrate their bands. The Stonemage activates heroic leadership. The Death Hag activates heroic leadership. The Stonemage casts Umbral Spellportal. Teclis casts Total Eclipse. Teclis casts Protection of Teclis. Teclis casts Overwhelming Heat on the Shadow Queen. Teclis casts Transporting Vortex on the Stoneguard. The Tree-Revenants teleport. The Stonemage activates all-out attack on the Spirit of the Mountain. The Shadow Queen activates all-out defense. The Spirit of the Mountain deals no damage to the Shadow Queen. Teclis deals 3 damage to the Shadow Queen. The Lumineth score 4 victory points. The battle tactic is gaining momentum. Khaine activates heroic leadership. The Stonemage activates heroic leadership. Teclis dispels the Umbral Spellportal. Khaine activates worship through bloodshed on the Bloodstalkers. The Bloodstalkers deal 6 damage to the Tree-Revenants and no damage to the Stoneguard, which activate Aetherports for +1 to save. Khaine casts Black Horror and deals 3 damage to the Tree-Revenants. The Death Hag prays for the Heart of Fury. Khaine casts Arcane Bolt and finishes off the Tree-Revenants. The Death Hag activates Witch Brew on the Witch Elves. The Shadow Queen fails to deal any damage to the Aetherwings. The Stoneguard activate all-out defense. The Bloodstalkers finish off the Aetherwings and deal 2 damage to the Stoneguard. The Stoneguard activate all-out defense. The Witch Elves deal 3 damage to the Stoneguard. The Stoneguard deal 2 damage to the Witch Elves. The Stoneguard activate Inspiring Presence. The Daughters of Khaine score 5 victory points. The battle tactic is an eye for an eye. The Stonemage fails to activate heroic leadership. The Shadow Queen activates their finest hour. The Stonemage activates Unyielding Toughness on the Stoneguard. The Stonemage casts Umbral Spellportal after using an Aether Quartz for +1 to cast. Teclis casts Total Eclipse. Teclis casts Protection of Teclis. Teclis casts Storm of Searing White Light, dealing 3 damage to the Witch Elves, 1 damage to the Shadow Queen, 5 damage to the Hag, 5 damage to the Bloodstalkers, and 4 damage to the Blood Sisters. Teclis casts Overwhelming Heat on the Shadow Queen. Teclis fails to deal any damage to the Hag. The Spirit of the Mountain deals 1 damage to the Hag. The Spirit of the Mountain activates Titanic Duel. The Shadow Queen activates Stomp and deals 1 damage to the Stoneguard. The Stone Mage activates Stone Mage Stance. The Spirit of the Mountain deals 2 damage to the Shadow Queen. The Stoneguard finish off the Witch Elves. The Stoneguard activate all-out defense. The Shadow Queen deals 4 damage to the Stoneguard. The Lumineth score 4 victory points. The battle tactic is Tide of Blades. The Death Hag activates Heroic Recovery and heals 2 wounds. The Stone Mage fails to activate Heroic Leadership. Morathi Khaine fails to cast Black Horror. Morathi Khaine casts Mind Razor, but it is unbound. Morathi Khaine activates Worship through Bloodshed on the Bloodstalkers. The Bloodstalkers deal 4 damage to the Stoneguard, which activates Aetherquartz for +1 to save. The Hag prays for Catechism of Murder on herself. The Hag activates Witch Brew on herself. The Spirit of the Mountain activates Redeploy. The Spirit of the Mountain activates Shockwave on the Hag. The Hag deals no damage to the Stoneguard. The Stoneguard activate all-out defense. The Bloodstalkers finish off the Stoneguard and deal 4 damage to the other Stoneguard. The Stoneguard activate all-out defense. The Hag finishes off the Stoneguard. The Daughters of Khaine score 5 victory points. The battle tactic is Conserve Aether Quartz. The Stonemage activates Heroic Leadership. The Hag activates Heroic Leadership. The Stonemage casts Umbral Spellportal. Teclis casts Storm of Searing White Light, dealing 3 damage to the Morathi Khaine, 1 damage to the Hag, and 3 damage to the Bloodstalkers. Teclis casts Total Eclipse. Teclis casts Protection of Teclis. Teclis casts Speed of Hysh on the Spirit of the Mountain. Teclis deals 5 damage to the Bloodstalkers. The Spirit of the Mountain deals 1 damage to the Blood Sisters. The Bloodstalkers activate Unleash Hell. The Spirit of the Mountain activates Aether Quartz for +1 to save. The Bloodstalkers deal 3 damage to the Spirit of the Mountain. The Spirit of the Mountain activates Stomp, dealing 1 damage to the Bloodstalkers. The Spirit of the Mountain activates Faith of the Mountains on the Stoneguard. The Spirit of the Mountain deals 12 damage to the Bloodstalkers, which deal no damage back, using the Khaine's Essence ability. The Stoneguard finish off the Hag, that activates the Rune of Khaine and deals 4 damage back. The Lumineth score 4 victory points. The battle tactic is Gaining Momentum. The Stonemage activates Heroic Leadership. Morathi Khaine activates Heroic Leadership. Teclis casts Total Eclipse. Teclis casts Protection of Teclis. Teclis casts Storm of Searing White Light, dealing 2 damage to the Shadow Queen. The Stonemage casts Arcane Bolt. Teclis casts Overwhelming Heat on the Blood Sisters, dealing 3 damage. The Blood Sisters activate Redeploy. The Stonemage activates the Arcane Bolt, finishing off the Shadow Queen. Teclis deals 1 damage to the Blood Sisters. The Spirit of the Mountain deals 2 damage to the Blood Sisters. Teclis activates Stomp, dealing 1 damage to the Blood Sisters. Teclis activates All-Out Attack. Teclis deals 2 damage to the Blood Sisters, that deal 1 damage back using the Khaine's Essence ability. Teclis activates Aetherwings for +1 to save. The Blood Sisters deal 7 damage to Teclis. The Lumineth score 2 victory points. The battle tactic is an eye for an eye. Teclis activates their finest hour. Teclis activates Stomp, dealing 1 damage to the Blood Sisters. Teclis activates All-Out Defense. The Blood Sisters deal 3 damage to Teclis. Teclis deals 5 damage to the Blood Sisters, which deal 2 damage back using the Khaine's Essence ability. The Daughters of Khaine score 1 victory point. Teclis fails to activate Heroic Leadership. Teclis activates Stomp, finishing off the Blood Sisters. The Daughters of Khaine score 1 victory point. The battle tactic is Hysh made manifest. The Lumineth score 5 victory points.